Okay. I actually don't like working down here at night. Like this, I didn't realize it, but you know, those, well, there's 5 windows here and there's 2 windows there. Do bring a lot of light in when it's like certain times of the day. It like really lights this place up. Now it just feels like a basement. Anywho, anyhow, some stuff was done. The first video, which we're here in the, I think the small channel, the first video was concerned with Echo. Read notification.
One new notification from Amazon Shopping. A shipment has arrived, including Cat 6 strain relief.
Oh, stuff from my category 6 cables. Okay. That's actually good. Fuck, I left the goddamn stack on again. I keep leaving this entire... I mean, you know what? Where's the kilowatt? I have 2 kilowatts now. How many kilowatts have you drawn? Oh, God. 12,000 watts. All right. We're fine. I'm just going to believe in it. I'm going to believe in it. That's my job. My job as Zeos is to just believe that that's doing its thing, and I have hot water, and even if it costs me $20 a month, it's worth it. And now I'm going to put this kilowatt here. We're going to put this back on. I'm going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. I'm going to show the wattage used. We'll turn you back on and you back on. We just want to see. Uh, 34 watts. So everything here is just sitting idle using 34 watts. That's half what my basement uses. I wonder what the amp is. It's down to 8. So the amp's the big deal. All right, I'm just gonna plug that onto the floor. What was I saying? All right. Hi. I'm distracted. I don't have enough videos to publish to patrons so that I can go public every day with a video on the large thing. And that's fine. This is me coping. I was hoping to run away from the COVID crazies by like running away from my apartment and getting this house. But now I'm just distracted like a motherfucker. It's like, well, I should sit down and listen to this headphone for a couple hours straight so I could do a review. Or fix all the windows, and I got to set up a projector because the boys ended. See, I didn't think the boys was going to end on episode 8. I thought we were going to have like till 10. I was hoping like anime rules after 10. So what I did on the stream, honestly, I don't remember. We put some shelves on here. I set this stuff up. Brandon and I. Brandon's a friend from Philly. He comes up every once in a while. We move this. Oh, God. Because we're not ready for you yet. No ready. Because it was a 2-person job. Put the fabric on the screen. If you don't know how it goes together, this is Misumi aluminum, which is like 80/20. And I have these vinyl tubes from a hardware store. And for reasons that don't matter right now, they're glued up in the end. And I form them to fit. And I slide in. You put the fabric over and go, and you have a fabric thing. So, and since it's spandex, we had plenty of material, just stretch it a little bit more and put it on there, right, Danny? Right. So let me take this off here and show you. See, the problem is, oh, Jesus Christ. There we go. Those magnets are the problem. So, move this over. Projection screen is here, and it only weighs probably like 25, 30 pounds with all that aluminum. But, you know, it's just a frame and then it's fabric. She knows I'm watching her. She plays an ice level. Oh, good. All right, speaking of Brandon, Pasta's Brandon. What you doing to Brandon, Pasta? So Brandon was here, and The idea is to make the screen mount to the rack. And the way we did that was I took just a shelf. I was thinking like I was going to put something through here and have it stick out, then hang the thing on it. But I just took a shelf, a normal rack mount shelf, a short one, put it from the back side in, sticking off here. I gotta take off this gray tack because I had gray tacked a quarter for leveling reasons. I'll put this shelf here. Then I took one of the face plates and put it like out and up, so it sort of like squishes and holds this. So this is like a very firm fucking shelf, because usually they bend a little bit. And then to match the rail, because it's got slots on all four sides, so there's a slot in the bottom. We put these screws we found, just machine screws. We drilled into, wow. We drilled into the shelf precisely where it needed to go. So when I put it on here, it literally just falls, and this little 1/8 inch thing, and it can't fall off. And then we took the, if you know how I had this built, we have these right angles here. These are where we're holding it onto the verticals. We slid them over so that it would be perfectly centered every time. So when I lift this up here, it's a little bit difficult actually, because it like perfectly fits on this. So there's no wiggle room, and then falls down. And then the problem was it was hanging, it was like leaning out. So now there's little magnets you can go around and go clip, clip, and clip it to the rack. And then that's it, it's done. That part of it's done. So this is the power brick, which is this labeled. Fuck, this is gonna get lost and mislabeled. I need to label that. Where's my gray tack? I have just a pile of gray tack I'm putting in there. Oh yeah, I forgot I dropped the fucking Motiva. Works fine, by the way. For those of you questioning it, it seems to work fine. I don't know how about the audio outputs, but so far we seem pretty good. So, on to sound theory for Zeos's rebuild of the home theater. In my living room, in my apartment, everything was on the rack, and then the remote stuff was all in the front, and I ran a bunch of cables over there, and that was fine. The mini DSP's position was on the rack, and then I ran 2 fiber cables to the left and right speaker setups, and that was it. But over the years, and now, not just now, but over the years, then and now, with some modifications of my brain, the mini DSP should be over there. The mini DSP Nano Digi, not just a normal mini DSP, the one that can take 2 channels and make 8 channels out of it. Because in my living room, and what will be down here, because I'm going to literally rebuild my living room because it sounded amazing and I want to experience it again, was clip chassis, horns and driver with 2 separate channels, and then 2 separate channels, so there's 4. We had these infinity subs on that crown amp, which the crown amp used to be on the rack, and then I had power cable, like speaker cables running for my original front, left, and right, and I just put them to that. And so fuck that, we'll put them right here, put the amp there. I haven't mounted that yet. And then I'm gonna do subwoofer. So that's 6 channels now. And the last 2 channels that come out of that mini DSP Nano Digi were for the VU meters on the amps. Because they used to share until I made the Heresies 2 channels each. And then I'm like, well, I can't share that with that. It won't look right. So the 4th output, and it's it's sort of a vanity output, is for the VUs on that. So what that means is I can undo all the work I did here, because what's gonna go from the back to the front is a single coaxial digital. I'm not even gonna convert it. I have all these converters. I found so many of these converters that convert from one digital type to another, from SPDIF to other SPDIF, Toslink to coaxial, etc. But they're no longer required, and we could even unplug all this power. Just we're done. Undo now, because once the mini DSP Nano Digi is in the front, I'm not going to bother converting to fiber optic at all. I'm just going to go Coaxial digital to that DAC, coaxial digital to that DAC, coaxial digital to a DAC that feeds the subwoofer amps. I had used a Geshelli Labs Enog, which, why not keep using that? Like, subwoofers don't need, like, I trust the Enog with headphones, so to say I don't trust it with, like, just low end for fucking some subs is dumb. The only reason I would change DACs is if I wanted slightly higher voltage output, but I don't think I need to. Like, I'm racking my brain looking at that pile of stuff over there going, well, should I upgrade stuff? It's literally like, go with what works. So this is fine. You're coming out. I don't need this short, no, I don't need this short cable anymore. Oh, fuck you. There we go. Okay, nano digi out. All these really short cables I can probably rescue. These are JDS Labs. They can go back in this box, which I have at least one more of them here, which makes 2 pairs. So that's good. So those go back together. I'm gonna need at least one McShorty shorts to go to the DAC. So what that means is that this is gonna have active power, which means I have a power strip on the side. What am I doing? I have a power strip. What is it attached to? Oh, I've zip tied it here. I Velcro tied it here before the move, because I'm a good person who understands that moving men have a fucking impossibly hard job. And don't fuck up my stuff, please. It's mostly that second thing though. So this will power, because I could put that amp up, but I kind of want to see the visual of the meters for the left and right. I could always shut them off in the menu. I could also, if I was so inclined, put a center channel here, because the screen hangs here and it's audio transparent. I could stand just a single vertical speaker, and then I have a third singular mono block for a center. However, we have this problem where the left and rights here are getting converted to digital here to become a single coaxial digital, so I can run it to the mini DSP nano digi and then do all that wild shit I just talked about with 8 different channels out of one cable. But if I want to put a center channel there, well, that's here, and I'd have to basically run an analog cable either to an amplifier and then just a speaker cable, or run the analog all the way to the front and then put an amplifier to a speaker cable, or run the analog all the way to the front and there's just a powered monitor there. I could just plop a powered monitor. It sort of sucks that this stuff's in the back, but unless I was willing to run computer up front, if I did computer up front, I'd have to run HDMI. No, wait. I would need this up front. I'd need the audio source creator in the front. And then this would all be up front. But then I'd have to put the computer up front too. Otherwise, I put the computer here and the projector here, and then I'm running HDMI all the way to there. I guess I could run one HDMI there just for audio. That's doable. It would still just jump to this, but then I wouldn't have any visual on this. I'm brainstorming right now. This is how my brain, if you're not asking these questions in your own head, you're not up to my level of crazy. Because what we have here is what we want. We want the source, the pre or receiver, and then the output. So the source shoves, anime titties into the Emotiva. The Emotiva puts anime titties on the projector. And if I pick up the remote and go menu, I see the menu. You can, with a Windows PC with multiple HDMI outputs, set one thing to be the video output, and then just send that surround sound audio out of another HDMI output. So we can go boom, 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 straight to there, and then boom, 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 straight to there, but then the menu doesn't go anywhere. So it's fine. This is what we've got going here is fine. We're gonna have to have a wire. I'm trying to keep the wiring that goes from the front to the back as lightweight as possible. I could convert to fiber optic, but I have those crazy long coaxial digital cables, or I could even build a coaxial digital cable. I have the crimp on for RG59U all copper, and I could just go boop. I'm gonna plug into here, out, and I'm gonna go. Okay, there is an in too. What would the in do? Does that in help me? There's an in and an out on fiber optic and coaxial digital. And I'm wondering how that could help me. I never actually played with this unit. It's like, I never reviewed it. Optical, coaxial, optical, coaxial. 48 QS. I don't remember. I'll have to play with it. It's literally just 5 momentary buttons that you push, and then a volume knob for a fucking headphone we're not using. So, I mean, at $300 eBay, and it converts analog to coaxial digital and fiber optic, like, beautiful, like, perfectly, basically. So right now, as long as I'm not running a center channel, this is much simpler. If I do want to run a center channel, it becomes a slightly bigger pain in the ass. But it's a capable thing. In fact, I could even put a center channel with 2 stands on the left and right of this. Because the thing about a center channel is it's mono and in the middle. But what happens when you have stereo speakers and run them mono? Well, the sound sounds like it's coming from the middle, which is the same as a fucking center channel. So as long as you're not, you know, drifting sideways, where the center channel speaker, if you have a center channel single and you're moving left and right, it's always fixed point. If you're sitting dead center, it's fixed point. And if you're sitting dead center of 2 speakers, it's fixed point, which usually is why I just have left and right. Why am I pointing at those? Well, I just have left and right because it's a fixed point in the center. As soon as you move, though, all of a sudden you hear that clip shower C way more, and that one just sort of disappears. Ohms fixed that a bit, but I can't run ohms down here because they shoot out and up, and there is no up. It's just a big cloud up here that'll suck all the fucking sound up, which is interesting because I hear music playing down here way more than I hear music playing up there down here. Acoustics, man. I guess it's just this big concrete slab, and the sound has no place to go but up, and then through the insulation, and then through the floor. But if you're up there, usually it's backwards. I usually tell people, you know, if you're in the bottom apartment, the upstairs apartment won't hear your shit. But if you're in the bottom apartment and your upstairs fucking neighbors are being an asshole, you'll hear their shit. I mean, I don't think you have to fucking argue that point. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna get that wire real quick. I didn't want to make this like a crazy long video. Ha! Okay, Jesus Christ, I have to keep moving all this stuff. And in fact, I need to use, this is my special blue mat that I take my thumbnails with. Hey, there's my coax, my Cat 5. This is Cat 5 though, and I bought a bunch of Cat 6 cable. So, holy fuck. What the fuck is this? DisplayPort to HDMI. How big? I'm going to assess the word big. Jesus. That is gargantuan. Hold on, now that I have the ends. I'm sorry, this is like a live stream. It's DisplayPort to DisplayPort. I've never had a DisplayPort monitor. I don't know why I'd need that cable. Or maybe I bought it by mistake and I just never returned it. And then this one is DisplayPort to... Wait, didn't I just see... No, that's DisplayPort to HDMI. Okay, that's what that is. Cable Creations. That's a heavy-duty giant one. So if I was going to do that thing where I put the computer there and then the screen projector here, this would be like the type of cable I use for that. I'll put those right there. Those are big enough to look like extension cords. But we don't need those right now. We don't need this. We need... Oh, this is super specialty shit I made. I don't remember what I use this for, but it goes to 3.5mm. RCA to 3.5mm. Why did I build these? I don't remember. Oh, look, raw speaker wire. I'm gonna pull this out of here. I feel like this belongs on a shelf, just so I could visually. Excuse me, shotgun shells. That's fine. Like I feel like in my basement, that's a thing that should be like there. I bought a big roll of white Cat 5e though. So now these. Do I have enough yellow? How long are the yellow? I don't think these are that long. And these are video cable and not... There's actually some slight merit. These are not that long either. I have ones that are definitely longer than this. How long is that? Two of those would make it. Just gonna double check. I think these are the crazy long ones. And anything this color that I got from Liberty Cable years ago is specifically Spitif. Maybe these are all the same and I'm just hallucinating. But these are Spitif cables and no one was using them, and then I bought them and I built an entire channel based on just having all these RCAs to hook shit up. Imagine if you had to go to like Best Buy to buy RCAs to do reviews. Oh my god. I lucked out. Luck. This channel is built on luck. Okay, I think these are the same length. Yeah, those are the same length. Are you the same length also? No, I think you're a little bit longer. Yeah, so I do have at least one long one. I could have sworn I had more than one long one, but I'm going to put the one long one in place for now. Yes, Z500 digital. Plugs, this, that. I want to tether this to the rack so that if it gets yanked, I've already said this to you for other things. Shit. There's a very small hole here that I'm trying to force. I'm used to this. Oh, actually that worked. I didn't think I'd be able to do that, but I know all about fitting things in holes. Shush, don't make innuendos. So then I could just go here, and then I could just, can I just wrap this like this? Wrap that like that, and then turn this around and give it another. I just want to make a strain relief. Like even if it's a shitty strain relief, just like a ha ha ha, ha ha ha. So that gets pulled sideways and pulls the wire instead of yanking fucking Army ADI. So now this almost makes it here. I knew it wasn't going, I mean it does. If I go straight forward, I could just go there. But now I could take one of these other ones. Now I kind of want a slightly shorter one. No, we're not going to do slightly shorter. Because we're probably going to go down and around the couch and make sure people don't step on it. Why did I have so much wrapped up? Jesus. Over the years, I think, or just, like I wouldn't wrap up two. I must have had 6 or 7 of these like that. Are they the same length? I feel like, why would I do them in multiple setups if they were the same length? They are definitely the same length. Huh. Do I have another crazy long one just hanging around? Because that one's definitely a little bit longer. Oh, we need to get a, I need, all right, one of you down, one of you around my neck. I'm a big fan of throwing things around like Tarzan, like I could wear like a sash, like Worf. There we go. So now we need to go into the box. It definitely doesn't have any spider in it. Is this the other crazy long one? Did I have 2 crazy long ones? I don't believe I just found it on top. If it's just there and I just did all that. Yep. All right, so that's what you are. I'll just use 2 absurdly long ones, this way I know what they are. And I'll wrap these up because they're all the same. And I'm gonna come back over here and I'm gonna shut the postage scale off. Actually today's the 9th, tomorrow's the 10th. Cheese has got to get the yard sale stuff. Hopefully he's done getting laid and then can handle that shit. All right, we got to unbury this a little bit. Zio's did bad. What we need out of here. What is that? That's a fucking Ebola fucking bug or something. It's like one of those little, don't need that. Don't need that in my life. I want a high quality, basically one of these, but better. There's got to be a solid metal one here. I know I've got them because I was using them. Shit, they might not be in here. Just a barrel. It's an RCA barrel. But I'm trying to find one that's not like plastic. I have like full fuck you high-end ones somewhere. But Zios, you don't believe in wires. Just use whatever shit. Yeah, I don't believe in wires, but I also don't want it to like snap. Because there's a difference between paying a lot of money for something to sound better and paying a lot of money for something to not break. And I'm all about that, ones that are like well built. These are chokes. How many of these barrels do I actually fucking have? It seems to be like a lot. Oh, that one's a little bit nicer quality. It's just passing a digital signal. So honestly, it probably won't matter. Huh. I know, so it's not like I'm not going to move this setup and find the thing that I want and then put it in here. So let's just put this down. I'm more interested in getting it working right now so I can watch the season finale of The Fucking Boys, which, by the way, if you aren't watching that, it's a great show. But the thumbnail for season finale was like, fuck, why is he so dirty? I don't need to see this. I feel like you're spoilering it. So now we gotta hopefully, I mean, that's plenty long to just aggregate all the way around. See, that's the right length, like real long. So here, I think these are 12 footers. So that's 24 feet of coaxial digital. That will now go, and I'm just gonna use the top of this shelf as a shelf. Here's my input, bloop. And the infrared is still facing this way. So I've got to sort of like do this. I don't want it to block the infrared, but we can go like this. Will the infrared shine through the screen material? It may not. Fark. If I set all this up nice and neat up here, and then I can't, but I've had problems. All right, so you want to know the main problem? I didn't even get to the main problem with moving the mini DSP Nano Digi over here. In my living room for years, I just left the control panel plugged in via USB to that open. And when I wanted to switch modes or modify it, I just brought it back up and I changed it, and it automatically, it doesn't even need to be saved, it just is. And then I minimized it and went about my business. The computer's not over here now. So now, if I want to modify the settings on the mini DSP Nano Digi, and you fucking bet I'm going to, I can't. However, there is a piece of gear that I bought and never finalized using, and I know exactly where it is because it just yells in my face. Every time I see it, I'm like, fuck. Oh God. This is a mini DSP wireless control thing. And I have no idea how it works. The mini DSP's, what's it called? The fucking website has forums, and I tried looking through like the forums, and I don't fucking understand. All I know is it says mini DSP. There's this little adorable antenna. You have to power it with USB. There's a reset, a Wi-Fi button, a Ethernet cable, which is this Cat6 UTP. We got a USB connection, which is I have a big USB here, and I'm not sure why. And there's an SD card slot. And I think, and all I could say is think, that I could hook this up to any mini DSP unit and then load the software on a computer that is connected to the same network and then control it. I think. Well, guess what? Since the computer's here and the mini DSP is all the fuck over there, I'm not running a fucking USB cable on an extension all the way around. I'm gonna get this to work. This is Goldie. Where's Goldie? Goldie loves this sort of complicated shit. Because, I mean, it says power and it's a USB cable. Okay, I get it. The little antenna is fuck off adorable. Like, the unit itself can't communicate. So I'm thinking this USB cable should be one that plugs into that, which would be a USB micro. No, USB mini. Because that's how you connect it to a computer. So you connect it to this instead of a computer. And then this just talks to the Wi-Fi or the Ethernet. So you could either Ethernet or Wi-Fi, and I wouldn't Ethernet it. I would just like, boom, Wi-Fi it. But maybe I have to set it up with the Ethernet for, like, all right. I'm gonna leave my confusions. I'm not gonna involve you all in my confusions. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this stuff back in the box that I have. Basically, this was the box from my living room stuff, which is what I'm reassembling essentially. And I've made it. Anything to do with fiber optic goes in there. Fiber stuff in this box. Oh, you need fiber? It's in this box. Fiber splitter, this box. The piles are sorting themselves. This is becoming the fiber optic box on top of the toilet bowl. Don't ask other stupid questions. Oh, there's a fun little jaunt. Where the fuck am I plugging this in? Nowhere. Great. Oh, I got to do the same thing I did here to that, so that if you yank it, it doesn't. Because right now, you yank that thing and it's just going to pull the mini DSP off. So if I attach it to the rack, I'm assuming that I'm putting it here, and I'll be able to control it via Wi-Fi. That's enough. Just so that doesn't get pulled. And then if I leave that little shitty connector and you trip on it, it should just and disconnect, and then I'll lose sound in the front, but at least it won't break. So we've cleared out a lot of space here, which is good, because the space here is going to be needed to be used for at least 2 stereo amplifiers, small ones, or no stereo amplifiers. And then I just need to hook up powered monitors to these, which might even be easier. Just a little set of powered monitors here for back channels, and a set of powered monitors left and right, which I don't know which ones I'd use. We're not there yet. We're not at that point yet. I want to. I got to do the subwoofer too. I'm gonna just roll my fucking subwoofer over here, probably on the wheels. Just put it on the wheeled cart and roll it. Actually, I could put it on the What's Pasta doing? She's leveled up her bomb tower. Okay. I'm sorry these videos are not like concise, but you're here for the process. Everyone puts out videos when they're done with their home theater. And here is my home theater, and it was great, and it was fun to put together, and I enjoyed it. It's absolutely fucking enjoyable. I'm not here with the camera in my head. Like, I should be doing other things, but I love this shit. This is a puzzle game for me. Hopefully yours. Hopefully this inspires you to look at the crazy and go, I'm just gonna get a home theater box. It's got color-coded wires and you put it together. But this is like next level shit. Like nobody. You know what? I want to. Hold on, we're assessing if this is a good deal. Bear Dynamic Team Tiger, $273. That's $100 that microphone. Yeah. Yeah. That mic's worth 100. You think no one in the world is doing a home theater the way I'm doing it? It's very possible. Just the fact that I'm converting analog to digital so I can run a single digital cable to the front to deal with my whole front end, and then there's no center, and then it's got multiple. It's got to be unique. Like, it's got to be unique. And at the same time, it's got to be unique. Like, that's my thing. Like, there's no point in living life if you're not unique. Like, don't go shopping at the Gap. It's that whole Fight Club mentality. Fight Club was a great movie. It happened at a very important time in my life. In fact, I think that's a quote from the movie. And it may have scarred the way I do things. Okay, so now, what's left? Subwoofer is going to end up going back here, and oh! I have to run upstairs. I have a wireless subwoofer kit sent by Emotiva to test out. This is perfect, except everything needs power, and there's no power, and I need to vacuum that fucking corner. That's perfect. So then I can just mount that here, and that'll just do its little Wi-Fi subwoofer thing. Okay, so that takes care of point 1. Video's done. It did not kill the radio star. I have an extra shelf in case I need amplification for a rear passive set if I don't go full active, which let's go shopping. See, let's go shopping. Okay, fine. Shut up. Shut up. Oh, look at that. Could you ask, like, could you imagine, like, room corrected these as like your side channels? Like, boom. I could use the fucking little ones. Here's the problem with going with powered monitors. A, I need power running to them, which means electrical. And B, I need signal running to them if they're individuals like JBLs here. Which I have these lights. I'm gonna put these lights on. Hold on. Oh, God. Wow, that's super bright now. Powered monitors are wonderfully easy, but more difficult. Because if I just hook up a set of passive speakers, fuck, I can run Vanitus as my rears. If I hook up a set of passive speakers, just like here, boom. The fuck are you? Wow. Yamo S803s. Thank you. If I put those there, I have to go get an amplifier. And it ain't like I don't have amplifiers. Wow, do I have any amplifiers? I mean, here, you're an amplifier. You'll work. You're an amplifier. You'll work. I have at least 2. Am I running out of amplifiers? Scratching my chin. DAC. You want to talk about mini DSPs that are lacking in potential. This thing was the one that was HDMI pass-through, so I could fuck with all 8 like audio channels before it gets like coming out of the computer, before it even gets into the Emotiva. I could fuck with things, but it only passed through 1080p, which doesn't matter in this case because the projector's only 1080p. Oh God. Oh, don't. But oh, and then I could have. Oh God, my brain. Like I could. I like complications. But anyway, back to, do I have any more speaker amps? No. No. No, 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 yes. No, 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 yes. No, no. No. If that was the other 100, that would have been a yes. And then I could have continued singing. Here's the TI-20. I got the TI-10 upstairs. Your headphone. I really don't have that many speaker amps. Oh, I do have the DA8S is over here, which I retired from this. And then I could, if I wanted to, yank the A800 out. Yes, I have you. You're a speaker amp. And I have that one in case I need lots of power in the rear, which I shouldn't. I'm just gonna pile things here now. I don't, why did, oh God. I mean, with this mini DSP, it goes here. It goes on this side of the unit. Which means I could plug it into... See, this has an Ethernet and a USB 2.0. Why? Why does it have an Ethernet? How does it work with Ethernet? I could just hook it up. I can just wire it with Ethernet. And then USB 2. Oh, Jesus Christ. I hate learning things, man. I want all these complications, but I want them to come naturally like an artist. You don't teach an artist. You give them a pen, you give them paper and shit, and they figure it out on their own. And it's the journey that makes their painting unique. But shit like this is like, here's a pen. How do you use it? It's complicated. I don't go to school to learn how to use a pen. God damn it. Okay. So amp. Well, amp 1, in case I need to do passive speakers. Because again, the reason that passive speakers are easier is speaker wire is easy. All this shit, and then it's just some random speaker wire. It could be 45 feet long. The side channel. No power to it, no signal to it, just a speaker wire. Oh my God, I could use these as my rear channels. Oh baby. Fuck, I could roll my 590s over and use them as rear channels. Holy shit, my brain. I'm rubbing my forehead because my brain of the possibilities that are endless. I mean, actually with the 590s, they're so efficient that DA8S will destroy you. My only concern is this exists. Because if I'm trying to like push it in the corner, like again, that's why it's mobile. I could have it, oh, there it is. You don't want it here? Pick the speakers up, put it all this way. Go this way. And then you have a hard wall to the right though. One of the benefits of going this way is the first reflection point on the side doesn't exist. There's a hollow stairwell and, you know, a wall 22 feet away. 20 feet away. So like sound going that way is going to be fucking gone already by the time, you know, you get your first reflection point. All I hear is a Radio Gaga. That song stuck in my head. It played and I was like, yeah, it was a fucking thing. Can you believe DMS doesn't like the Civica Phoenix? Like, headphone of the year, no questions asked for me. I was like, man, I didn't even like him. The Ship 9600 was even better than that. I'm like, what? Like, I literally had a conniption fit on him today when he told me that. I was like, I didn't know you reviewed it. Didn't know I reviewed it. I built a pyramid out of cummies, put it on top. It was so good. They're so good. And I have 3 pairs. Actually, I have 2 pairs left. I gave 1 pair away to a friend. Hopefully they sound as good. You could bring them back and I could test them. It might be unit variation. I don't know. My brain hurts thinking about him not liking that. It's like, oh, it has a similar problem to the Swan M300s that I like so much. So he thinks I have a problem. And I'm like, the Swan M300s have a problem? And then I thought about punching him through the internet. Looking for the TCP/IP protocol that lets me punch people in the throat. Okay. So now that I've run, basically all we've done on this thing is bullshit. Run that cable. The problem I have with the mini DSP is it's going to complicate this thing is going to complicate the fuck out of my life. But again, we're all about complications here on Z Reviews. And I could do wild things with this. Wild things. Like, let me explain. I could take the front right channel, mix it in to the rear channel, but only the low end for fun. Or mix that into 3 different channels for fun. All of it for fun. I can't let, the thing is, if I don't use it here, there's no way I could use this anywhere else because the next projector I get will be 4K. This is a 1080p projector. I'm shooting 1080p signal here. This makes sense. So what I've got to do is I have to add another HDMI cable, don't I? HDMI output is that. HDMI input is this. So this HDMI input now goes into HDMI input 1 here and put you down on the shelf. Okay, so now I need a short little baby jumper HDMI to go from HDMI out to here. So that this will receive whatever that's fucking with it. I don't have many short HDMI cables. I got one really nice one upstairs. Beautiful. The shortest of HDMI cables. It's another set of keys for the fucking rack. Fiber optic cables. What is happening here? I don't remember where this is all coming from. I think this is a subwoofer cable. Okay, no, just don't. Any spiders living in here? There was a spider in a box over there. Like, I hadn't seen spiders in boxes. And then there was one spider in the box that was like a jar. And I'm like, fuck. The spider wasn't a jar. The box was a jar and the spider was in it. And I was like, and it wasn't no little spider either. It's one of them big, fuck your fucking face spiders. And he was just like, help me. And I'm like, all right, I let him out. Like, I try to build a what the hell is this? Oh, that's a really short DisplayPort extension. This is for when I was doing VR stuff, but I didn't use it. So this is all DisplayPort in here is what you're telling me? What are you? Wait, you're HDMI. Nothing in here seems short though. This all seems like really long. DisplayPort mini, DisplayPort. It's not what I want. I'm gonna put these keys visible on the side. This thing, I don't know if I've ever talked about it, is a 4x2 4K HDR HDMI matrix switch and audio extractor. Now there's HDMI audio extractors all over like Amazon, where you put it in and it gives you fiber optic out, so you get 2-channel. This one also does that, gives you headphone out, SPDIF out, but all these HDMI ins are 4K compatible. This HDMI ARC out is 4K compatible. And then there's an audio only HDMI out. And I bought this like fucking $60, $70 unit specifically so that if I wanted to use that stupid fucking great amazing HDMI fucking with mini DSP, I could run 4K signal into this, 4K signal out of this to my display, and then this, and then I've never ever seen an audio only HDMI, but this can then go to that, and then that can jump to the receiver, and then I have the same problem though where the receiver doesn't have menus. The menus in the receiver doesn't exist because we're just leaving it out of the loop. We're out of the looping it. Okay, we need just a short. This is not short. You're giant. You're thick. You're a thick boy. What are you? What did I just jank you off of? Okay, I'm gonna try to lay some of these down. That's a big one. Like, I'll even take like a 3-footer at this point and just be like, that's short enough. One of these like really, actually, what's that? What's that? Oh, that's a short HDMI. Short enough. I've got some really long ones here. Oh, giggity, look at this one. I've got a little extension. Do I have multiple extensions? Oh, these are the ones that were from my head cam when I was streaming. I had extensions into adapters, into smaller ones, into other. That's a female, so I could extend this again. It was wild. But none of those are things. I need a gender changer. Here's another thing. Here's another DVI to HDMI changer. Here's some HDMI extenders that go over Cat 5e. 3 of them. That's why my friend gave me these. I don't think I have anything else that I want to use here. Any of these short? Alright. I hope this works. I feel like there was one HDMI cable that didn't work. And I'm not, because that would just, I'd fucking lose my mind trying to figure it out. And there's no like display that this is going to show. Like the mini DSP either works or it doesn't. There's no like, oh, just set it to this mode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the excess of this HDMI cable and I'll gently shove it under the receiver, under the, well, the processor. This is like hiding cables with Zeos. So as long as it's not sticking out the front, which it can't because there's a lip there, I could feel it. It makes it look much neater. So now it's going out, up under the unit, I could actually just attach it there so it looks like the same unit. So that has to get powered. Then I have to clean this up. Just this is another, oh God. I'm sorry I'm making this video. Like, I feel like, I very rarely feel like no one's gonna wanna watch this video because I'm Zeos. I make fuck tons of videos that are cooking videos that are really me reheating pizza. It's like, I don't understand. But people still come to watch it. So if you're okay with my brainstorming videos, Z-Storm. Z-Storm sounds like a bowling ball from the 90s. I bowled in the 90s. Well, I remember a little bit of bowling in the 90s. And I remember the bowling balls were all ridiculous. Z-Storm would have totally been, then it would have been like Z-Storm Alpha. It would have been like the next revision up. So I'm gonna put this here. Ooh. Oh, one last thing. I wanted to see how far I could throw with the projection screen all the way there. We rolled this metal rack all the way to here. And that was as far as we can go and still shrink the screen down to fit that. Like, we could have blown it up, but we were able to like shoot 25 feet or something. It was 23 feet? 23 feet. Why is that blinking out? Did I do that? Is this the video or is it the computer? It's the computer. What did I do? What is happening? Oh, because I plugged the mini DSP in? Is it throwing weird? So even though we're on a separate output channel, I wonder. Hold on, I'm gonna unplug this for a second to see if that blinks out. Yes, it's still blinking out. So I'm gonna plug it into 4. Now it's not blinking out. So here's what I'm thinking. No, it blinked out. Why is it blinking out? What happened? Battery 8 is charged. Come on here, battery 8. Where the fuck are my batteries? What the fuck? All right. I was thinking HDCP is getting freaked out because the mini DSP thing is here doing things. Input 1, input 2, MB, and then there's presets. So you could switch presets on this. Input 2, input 1, and M and B or something else. So that looks pretty solid right now. And if you look at the back of this Emotiva, it says that HDCP 2.2 is these first 3 HDMI inputs. Then these 3 HDMI inputs are not HDCP, so I moved it over to input 4. We have to have the projector on. I gotta put the projector on. I gotta see what's going down. Is this even registering a second monitor now? Yeah, display settings. Put this on. Okay, now that's on, this is on, and it's showing, oh, you didn't see that. So, stereo, no audio. This HDMI one's gonna fucking kill me, isn't it? What are we looking at? What is it trying to project? What is that? Ugh. Having a previously strained wrist does not help the situation. Oh, the magnets are doing magnety things. Okay, now what does it say? No video signal. So that's not the projector saying that. That's the receiver saying it. Because that thing is not being picked up as a device. Preset 2. Preset 3. So I don't know if the presets are gonna fuck with it. Preset 4. It's not showing a secondary display. Okay, so you're fucked. That's what we're saying. We're saying it's fucked. I can't do what unless this is unless I'm 100% remembering correctly, and this specific short cable is fucked. I'm gonna put this specific short cable right here, and we're gonna get another random cable. I'm just gonna check, because my God, if you don't check the cable first, you're fucked. HDMI out. I'm just gonna plug this in. I'm gonna plug this back into 1. That's plugged into 1. We lit up HDMI 1, no signal, but it's here. Oh, girl. Fuck. It lost my settings of 235 to 1, because in the NVIDIA control panel, that's no longer seeing the projector, because we've put a middleman in the way. So I have to go back to the NVIDIA control panel, and then I have to go back to this Samsung or MC700, and then I gotta go to the custom refresh rate, PC, customize, enable. Fuck. It doesn't even show me what it was. I think it was like 807. 807? Was it 807? Test? Yeah, I'm gonna keep that. It was some weird. Yeah, I hit yes. Okay. Hold on. We're gonna do calculator. DisplayWars.com, if this still works out, because that is a 235 to 1 ultra wide, and I should be able to get the exact ratio. Hold on. 104. Compare. It should give me diagonal, blah, 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 blah. What am I looking for? I'm looking for if it's 1920. Well, oh, I could just do that with the calculator. So what we're doing is we're going to take a known thing, which is the width, which is 1920. And then, I don't know, I hit enter on that. Enter doesn't do shit. We're going to divide that up. So that's 2.35 times what we need the height to be. It's either 235 or 237 on my screen. I forget which one it is. We'll work it out. So at 1920 wide, we have to divide that by 2.35. We get 817.02. So I was close. Yeah, so create custom resolution. 817. 60 hertz progressive is fine. Test. That looks perfect. Yes. It's gonna clip out again. Okay. I'm gonna shut off that one. I'm gonna hit OK. Then I can click this one. Then I can hit apply. And then that screen now, and I couldn't do this in my living room at home because I had the screen so low and the projector so high, I couldn't use the middle. It only uses the middle. So it's shooting black down below and black up above. When in my living room, I couldn't do that. I would have to have raised the projection screen to lower the projector. What? Did I not click apply again? Are there multiple? It's fine. It's fine. I'm gonna hit apply. Waiting for it, and then I'm gonna hit yes. It was a 20-second fucking wait. Okay, there we go. Close, 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 close. Minimize, minimize, close, minimize, close. Okay. So now, and actually that almost lined up. This is working with the mini DSP in the middle. That's all I care about. This is here. If I hold that, it shuts off because you only have, it's in display 1. I just put it back to display 1. It took a second. So now that should be adjustable via USB. Did I have a fancy USB cable sitting on the table? I could have sworn I had a nice, short... Was that upstairs? Somewhere in my life, there was a nice USB cable. Just at the perfect, like, because it's got to be USB A to B. It's a heavy, it's a big one. But I don't need, this video is going absolutely off the rails. There aren't even rails. Another thing I like about this is I can just move the projection screen over. Like, I don't have to, like, do those finite little adjustments on the, and this, you could see, you see that's sticking out? So we gotta come back here, which is gonna be impossible to do when there's speakers. And slide that back. So I'm gonna have to go underneath, which actually I should be able to just, yeah, all right, so that's not bad. Just give it a little bit of, a little magnetic love. Magnetic Love sounds like a name of a band. Crooked as hell, zoomed in weird. Blurry now. So let's zoom it out. Zoom it in. We gotta go up. If you don't know how the projector works, there's tilt lens shift in this, so you could actually like look, see? You can bring it way up there, because this is designed to go on a table. Where it's sitting, it could be a table, and then you could shine it up onto your wall, or you bring it down and that's like dead in front of it, or you could bring it down and see all the way at the bottom. That's where, actually lower than that is where my projection screen was in the old apartment. So we're somewhere in like the middle stomping ground, and everything's crooked. The goal with a lens shift projector like this is this should be perfectly level and parallel with the screen. Perfectly. And then you make the projection screen perfectly level and parallel with the unit, and then you can move it and it's perfect. But we're crooked, and like the screen I think is actually twisted. Like it's very little, but like it is, there is like a twist to it like that. If you measure from here to the wall and there to the wall and the other side from there to the wall, there's like a ½ inch difference. And that ½ inch is literally visible. But we can, if we dick with it enough, we could do that. And then it's a matter of like, well, it's crooked here, so I gotta throw this fucking foot down. More, and then I have to go and readjust it all. It's a process. There's a process. There's no one should be happy putting this just up and it's like, all right, it's done. Like, actually, that's pretty good. Oh God, I turned the projector. And the worst part about this projector, and I was complaining about this on stream, is it's the shape of an egg. There's no, like, it's shaped beautifully, but there's no flat side that I could just go, okay, align it with this shelf, push this against the beam. It's touching the metal beam. It's touching the shelf straight. It's straight. It's not. And I just moved it again. And it adjusted this thing. And also, I don't know why, but they really need to make these much more like it's like an Etch-a-Sketch. It feels like the controls on a fucking Etch-a-Sketch. You got to go up past where you want to go, so you can go left and right. It'll like wiggle down. Like, what is that? What the fuck is that? And now it's too low. Actually, it's just almost perfect. Oh God, it's almost perfect. I'm gonna crank this leg up another 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that's horizontal. We need to go a little. Oh my God! And then it fell down a little bit. It fell down a little bit. Okay. Oh, we just gotta go up a little bit. This is what it's like. Oh no. Why did that happen? Of course, the fucking screensaver started. Oh my God, my heart. This is like. Are you stressed out? Because this is enjoyable for me. Like I'm actually having a fun time. See, now I'm going up, and it's slowly like lifting off to the left side. So now I'm gonna drop it down, and come back over here, and I'm gonna go back and forth, just like a shitty Etch-a-Sketch. Back and forth. I can actually zoom it in a little bit. Make it a little bit wider. I mean, depending on how much, what your margins look like, how crazy you want to get. That's it. I'm focusing. And you really should have an entire screen of text up for focusing. But that's like, don't fucking touch it. Don't fucking touch it. I should get magnets and boom, right into the beam. So, thank you. So now, if we unscrew this light bulb. Okay. Now, I can roll this in the way. Now I have a basement home theater, except for there's no audio still. Nothing that I've done has added audio. And I have to take that screen off to do the, I don't even have mounted that thing, but we at least got this going. And you can see there's a little bleed on the top. You're gonna have, it's just, there's just like, there's imperfections. And it also, I'm gonna need to figure out a way to like level the screen, because it's sitting on that shelf, and the shelf is probably off 1.5 millimeters on one side, and the 1.5 millimeters extends and it's off 5 millimeters. And it's like, so all I could do is match it with the projector feet, which I either have to raise this side or lower that side, and I've been using just 1 foot to adjust. But then if I raise this side, it raises everything. Then I gotta lower the whole thing with the lens shift. It's a fucking nightmare, and I love it. And this is on a mobile unit. And this thing, I just kick this, and it's just gonna fuck everything up. But yeah, there it is working. We've got the mini DSP working. I'm gonna go find an HDMI cable. Then I gotta go download the software. It's much warmer on that. I actually prefer the colors of that to the, I might have to calibrate this monitor again. But now we got to make this mini DSP talk to the computer so the computer can fuck with the settings. But that's only this mini DSP. The mini DSP behind the fucking screen is a whole other separate application with separate settings and controls, because that's going to do the speakers in front, and that one, which is going to actually be able to access the signal that the speakers in front are going to get. Wait a second. Huh. So, I wonder, when this says it has an audio extractor, and yeah, I talked about it having an audio for like that out. What is this SPDIF out doing? Because if this is just pulling out left and right signal, oh, it won't work. Never mind, it won't work. I was like, oh, if I could just grab the left and right audio out, I could skip using my converter box to go from analog back to digital, and I could just, but there's nothing controlling the volume. The whole point of the processor there is that that's controlling the volume. If you didn't want to control the volume, that'd be fine. I mean, there's a way to build this computer with a card in it that mini DSP sells that will give me multiple digital outputs, enough to do everything with its own DAC. Because right now we're relying on the DAC in this Emotiva to do the front left, the front right, the center, the surrounds, the sub. There's a DAC built into this. That's why it's all analog outputs. There are no digital outputs for these channels. If there were, I'd buy it in a fucking heartbeat, but then you'd have to also put a DAC on every channel. But I have fucking piles of DACs. I don't know if I had this discussion on stream or on the video, but it doesn't seem to be a correlation with, like, there's high-end audiophiles, like crazy fucking lunatic audiophiles. We know this. You and I know this. We try to stay away from them. But then there's home theater people that are like home theater freaks and they use lexicon stuff, but there's no consumer level. What I'm doing is like cutting edge for home stuff. Mini DSP, HDMI intercepts, and then conversions going from analog back to digital so I can mess with the signal in a digital realm because no processor can do the things I need it to do. So it's just... I'm just staring off into the void now. I am no closer to watching The Boys. None closer. And in fact, doing all that shit straightening out the projection screen for you just means I had less time. Like, I don't have that amp mounted. I don't have any DACs behind the fucking... I need to put DACs behind here. I need to like fill this rack. Do I have another shelf? I have a shelf at the bottom of that one that I'm not using. Because this needs to have 3 DACs up here. 4 DACs up here. I'm sorry, 4. I was using that really cheap FIO one. Is it in this box still? For the VUs. These are the converters. They're all the same size. Everything's in exactly the same size black box. That's what I love. That's what I love about it all. HDMI splitter. Spitter splitter. Shit. Oh, there it is. I was worried I lost it. Because these things are like 20 bucks. So here's one of the DACs that's going to go back there. The FIO Taishin. And this is like $19. And I'm going to set it to coaxial because it's a coaxial digital we're going to send it up to. And it needs little, I'm going to need USB power back there for it. Am I going to need USB power back there for anything else? I shouldn't. And then this is just going to get output 4, and it's going to go, it's going to be mounted this way. It's going to go right VU, left VU, and the VUs are going to dance with no interference because it's a completely separate digital entity. All right, putting you back here. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I've ranted for like way too long again. And I've accomplished even less than I thought I could possibly accomplish. Like, I didn't think what I was doing was even possible. But apparently I'm here. I'm here doing even less. I just keep collecting. Oh. See, as long as I'm touching this metal beam with this, it doesn't really fuck around much. That's going to be sucky. Because as soon as I put it back up to it's going to shift. I know it. You can't lock the wheels. Oh, I also have in my cart, I haven't ordered them yet,